Heavy switches are just plain better. Hey guys, it's Mega, and today we're talking about why you should try out your first heavy switch. A bit of a disclaimer, I am going to mean heavier switches compared to that of sub 50 gram switches, which is what is common these days for out-of-the-box switches. Also, Akko sent these switches over to check out and had no say in the video. So, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Now, the first reason would be control. Heavy switches offer better control compared to lighter switches that you can sometimes actuate accidentally by just landing your fingers on them. Heavier switches will only actuate when you need it to, or when you actually press on them, because of the heavy spring. It's basically a guard against mistypes, typing errors, and such, which is why a lot of typists prefer heavier switches. And today, we have the Akko X Mhzz Green Fog Switches. It's Akko's first heavy linear switch that goes over 60 grams actuation force and 70 grams bottom out force on a 22 mm spring. So you're sure to have that heavier actuation. Now I know that you're thinking, heavier switches will give me fatigue and tire me out when typing or gaming, right? This brings me to my next point, which is ergonomics. Your hands also have muscles. Like every other muscle, the more it gets used, the stronger it becomes. The longer you use heavier switches, the more adept your hands will become to them. And as time goes on, you will grow to like them and have less fatigue with them. Additionally, if you're one who tries to avoid getting mistypes on lighter springs, you'll naturally try to avoid accidentally pressing them by making your fingers a bit more tense and actually causing you more fatigue than when you have heavier springs that you can naturally relax your fingers and type. Another reason to consider heavy switches is that the satisfaction of having heavier switches, this in terms of feel, not so much sound, but yeah, the increased resistance creates a more refined keystroke, and when you add the right materials and the right amount of lubing, you get a great sounding board as well. For example, these green fog switches, they're made with a PC top and a PA66 bottom. And its goal was supposed to have a deeper sounding switch, but from what I've seen, materials are leaning towards the clacky side, especially since it has a long pole stem that travels 3.6 mm through the switch. But the stem is made out of POK, so it may lean into a deeper sound. But yeah, it's really smooth and it's factory lubed, so you don't have to worry about lubing. And when it's all said and done, you'll have unlocked a better feeling board, whether you're typing or gaming. Now, this doesn't just apply to mechanical switches, but also magnetic switches. I implore you guys to try heavier switches, like the green fog switches that just come in at $11.99 for one box of 45 pieces. Now, these switches are flying out of the shelves, so when you can grab a set, links are in the description. Subscribe while you're there, it helps a lot. I'll leave you guys with a sound test of the Akko X Mhzz Green Fog Switches on my Neo Ergo with an aluminum plate. No foams apart from the ones under the PCB for all you purists out there thinking I stuffed my keyboards with foams. And if you've made it to this point, thank you. And I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.